Have you ever looked at a flight duration and felt a quiet but very real sense of dread? Not fear of flying, just the cold, creeping awareness that you are about to spend the next 12, 14, maybe 16 hours wedged into a seat the width of a filing cabinet, breathing recycled air with your knees practically introducing themselves to the person in front of you. Have you landed at your destination so stiff, so dehydrated, and so completely wrecked that the first day of your trip was basically a write-off before it even started? Why do so many travelers, people who fly regularly, people who plan everything, still treat a long-haul flight like something to simply endure rather than something they can actually win? Why does nobody talk about the fact that with the right strategies, the right gear, and a few decisions made before you even leave the house, economy class doesn't have to feel like a punishment? Here's what the airlines won't tell you. Surviving a long-haul flight, well, is a skill. And in 2026, with smarter options, better travel science, and hard-won knowledge from frequent flyers who've logged more hours in the air than most people spend at their desks, you can land feeling sharp, functional, and genuinely ready for whatever comes next. That's exactly what this video is going to give you. And before we get into it, can you do one small thing that takes less effort than flagging down a flight attendant? Hit like and subscribe. Do it now while you're still on the ground and your brain is working at full capacity. Because by the time you're into 8 hours into a flight and finally putting these tips to use, you're going to wish you had more videos like this waiting for you, so subscribe. Consider it packing for your next trip. Important considerations while planning your trip. The survival game starts long before you board. Seat selection is your first and most powerful move. According to various aviation comfort studies, seats near the front of economy cabins tend to have more legroom, faster boarding, and quicker exit access. Exit row seats are gold, but so are bulkhead seats. Just know that bulkhead seats often don't have under-seat storage, so pack your carry-on accordingly. Aisle seats are better than window seats for long hauls if you care about your circulation. Medical studies report that sitting immobile for long periods raises the risk of deep vein thrombosis, DVT, and being on the aisle makes it infinitely easier to get up and move around without doing that awkward shuffle over sleeping strangers. If you love the window for sleeping purposes, grab a seat behind the wing on the non-exit side. You'll have the wall to lean on and slightly less engine noise than sitting directly beside it. Book your seat the moment you buy your ticket. Don't leave it to chance. Families with children are often seated together in middle sections, meaning middle seats near them go fast. Also check in exactly 24 hours before departure. Many airlines release premium seats, including extra legroom spots at no charge during online check-in. Set an alarm for it. Seriously, be wise with your carry-on packing. This is where most people go wrong. They either pack nothing useful or they pack an entire pharmacy. Let's be strategic. The non-negotiables for any flight over 8 hours, according to the travel health experts and seasoned long-haul travelers, are a quality neck pillow, noise-canceling headphones, an eye mask, compression socks, and a refillable water bottle. Compression socks are not optional if you're flying for more than 6 hours. The NHS and the American Heart Association both recommend them for long flights because they keep blood moving in your legs and dramatically reduce swelling. Get ones with graduated compression. Around 15 to 20 millimeters of mercury is the sweet spot for travel. Noise-canceling headphones change the game. Even if you're not listening to anything, the ambient noise reduction alone on a long-haul flight reduces fatigue significantly. Studies by the FAA and independent researchers have found that continuous low-frequency cabin noise contributes to tiredness and heightened stress levels. A decent pair of noise-canceling headphones addresses this directly. Bring a lip balm and a small moisturizer. Airplane cabin humidity typically hovers around 10 to 20%, far below the 40 to 60% that the human body prefers, according to the World Health Organization. Your skin, eyes, and throat will dry out. Combat this proactively, not reactively. Pack snacks you actually like. Airplane food is airplane food. Having a few of your own snacks, nuts, a protein bar, dried fruit, gives you control over what goes in your body and keeps your energy stable without relying on the meal schedule. The habits that actually matter on board. The moment you sit down, do three things. Change into comfortable clothes if you haven't already. Compression socks go on now if they aren't already. Set your watch to the destination time zone and drink a full glass of water. Hydration is your best friend on a long flight. Aim for at least 250 milliliters of water per hour of flight time. Skip the alcohol for the first half of the flight at minimum. Alcohol dehydrates you faster at altitude and wrecks your sleep quality, which brings us to the next point. Sleep strategy matters enormously. If you're crossing multiple time zones, you want to time your sleep on the plane to align with nighttime at your destination. This is what every travel medicine specialist recommends to minimize jet lag. Melatonin, taken about 30 minutes before you want to sleep, helps signal to your body that it's time to wind down. Doses between 0.5 milligrams and 3 milligrams are considered effective for travel purposes, according to research published in the journal Sleep Medicine Reviews. You don't need the mega doses sold in some markets. Get up every 60 to 90 minutes. Walk to the back of the plane, do some calf raises, stretch your hip flexors in the galley. Flight attendants are generally very used to seeing passengers do this and rarely mind unless you're in their way during service. These micro movements keep your circulation going and dramatically reduce that sluggish, stiff feeling that hits you when you finally land. Use the entertainment system strategically. Binge watching back-to-back movies is tempting, but it keeps your brain stimulated and delays sleep. Watch one or two things you enjoy, then put on something low stakes, a gentle documentary, ambient content, or just music, as you wind down toward your planned sleep window. Eating and drinking smart at 35,000 feet. According to a Lufthansa Commission study conducted with Fraunhofer Institute researchers, the pressurized cabin environment dulls your sense of taste by up to 30%. That's why airline food often tastes blander than the same dish on the ground, and why so many people oversalt their food or reach for the tomato juice, which, for whatever reason, tastes better in the air due to umami perception changes at altitude. None of this is dangerous, but it's useful to know. Choose lighter meals where possible. Heavy, high-fat meals take longer to digest and can make you feel sluggish and bloated in a pressurized cabin. If the airline gives you a meal option at booking, pick the lighter fare. Fruit plates, seafood, or vegetarian options are often fresher and less processed than the standard meal. And again, water over alcohol, at least until you're through your sleep window. Landing and recovery. You've made it. The wheels hit the tarmac and you're there. What you do in the next few hours matters for how quickly you adjust. Get sunlight as soon as you land. Natural light is the most powerful Zeitgeber. That's the scientific term for environmental cues that reset your internal clock available. Even 20 minutes outside in the daylight at your destination tells your body clock where it is. Stay awake until local nighttime if at all humanly possible. If you land in the morning local time and immediately go to sleep, you're going to prolong your jet lag. Push through, get outside, eat at local meal times, and resist the nap. Your body will adjust far faster. Shower, stretch, and move. After hours of being mostly immobile, your muscles need movement. Even a 20-minute walk after arrival does wonders for circulation, mood, and alertness. Final thoughts. Long-haul economy flying is never going to be a luxury experience, but it absolutely does not have to be a survival nightmare either. With the right seat, the right gear, smart sleep planning, consistent hydration, and a few deliberate habits, you can step off a 14-hour flight feeling like a person who has their life together. And honestly, in 2026, that's a superpower. You now know more about surviving long-haul flights than most people who've been flying for decades. Use it. Share it with someone who has a brutal flight coming up. They'll love you for it. And if this video helped you even a little, subscribing to this channel is basically the least amount of effort you can exert to make a meaningful difference in someone's day. Hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment telling us your worst long-haul flight horror story because misery loves company and we genuinely want to read it. See you in the next one. And may your legroom always be plentiful.